Nanach, as many know already, Baruch Hashem, the entire redemption is contingent on Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, Nachman, and his holy teachings. Rabbi Nachmans' most notable work, the Likutay Moharan, Rabbi Nachman said about it that it is the beginning, Aschalta de Gula, the beginning of redemption. Now, there are many ideas in this book that they took on faith and saw the roots of them in those days, in which today we see blatantly in front of our eyes. For example, Rabbi Nachman says that every Jew has kingdom. To tell that to a Jew 200 years ago was kind of stretching it, but they believed Rabbi Nachman said it, and they examined it, and they found roots. They found some sort of substance to tie that what he said to. A Jew, most of them were living from hand to mouth, almost on starvation diets. What type of kingdom did they have? But it's understood. There are ways of understanding it. How Rabbi Nachman said it, you could see it in the words. Today, we see every person is like a king. A simple person's wardrobe is bigger than the king had 200 years ago, and a private band we have on our phones, private entertainment more than most kings had in history. So today we understand it very fast, and so it is with many of the teachings of Rabbi Nachman that seem to be speaking to us much more than they even did to his disciples that he revealed them to. And that's one of the reasons why Rabbi Nachman's Torah is really catching on today. Everyone wants in, because there's nothing like it to have a sage from 200 years ago describe exactly what our lives are like. Now, a case has been made that the first Torah of the Likutay Moharan is a window into understanding all of Rabbi Nachman's teachings. It's a general rule in the Torah that the first chapter, even the first word, it includes everything. So if we apply that to Likutay Moharan, so then special attention would be given to the first teaching of Rabbi Nachman as a window to all his teachings, and being that this book, the Likutay Moharan, is the beginning of redemption. So this is a look into redemption. What's going to happen? For what it involves, and thus we see, like never before in all of history, this unfolding, this Torah, this incredible teaching of Rabbi Nachman, that the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, wants to make a person mamish, actually crazy. In other words, not just to get him to sin and so forth, to get him to stumble and go after his heart and after his lust, but really he's that's just part of what he wants. He really wants to make a person crazy. And after Rabbi Nachman said this, of course, the Balei Musar, the masters of ethics, also picked up on this, and you can find this idea in their holy works. But Rabbi Nachman laid it out straight up that this is the mission, the goal of brother Satan, to make people actually crazy. And in today, even this is something, most of what I was talking before that we see now, Rabbi Nachman's teachings, is already we see for 50 years. But this teaching, I don't think it was so apparent and blatant as it is in the last year, in the last few years, literally in the recent times, where we see that people have completely lost their marbles. Not just people, countries. And I don't want to get into specifics because it's very political statements, but you could see that because one of the main definitions that the Talmud says is to define crazy, because there's all types of levels of crazy. So, and it has many legal ramifications. So the Talmud discusses how to delineate the craziness, and really what it boils down to is that the bottom line of real crazy is a person that self harms, whether it's his money or his person, but self harm is a real craziness. It's not just doing something crazy, or it's real craziness. And we could see today that people and countries are self harming. And I don't want to give examples, not to offend anybody. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone's so offended, so I can't give examples. But you could see it if your eyes are open. You could see that there's self-harm, which is the epitome, is the real bottom line of craziness. And I don't think this was ever seen in history so blatantly. Other times there were evil people came to power or over themselves, and they went after their lusting, and they destroyed themselves because they were so after their pleasures. But that's not what's happening today. It's not because of their lust for pleasure. They're literally making decisions that are self-harming. And this is something that the first Torah of Rabbi Nachman addresses and gives solutions for. Now, on this line itself, Rabbi Nachman explains that the evil inclination, brother Satan, first, he usually comes to the person first as a white angel, as a mitzvah. And this we see very much today. What's making these people crazy? It's their mitzvot. They have so many noble ideas that they're coming to keep and defend and uphold. And these mitzvot of them are driving them absolutely crazy. Now, to get the remedy for this, you have to learn the Torah. I'm not going to do this in this video. But you could see the problem is unbelievably laid out by Rabbi Nachman. This idea also, I point out, the woke Hasidim, you see in the stories of ancient times, Rabbi Nachman revealed of the guy that couldn't walk, the lame guy. Rabbi Nachman says in that story, it's an amazing story, you have to read all the stories many times. In this story, Rabbi Nachman talks about this lame guy that got magic dust. This dust had all types of bags. Each bag had different type of dust he collected. And since he had been robbed, he took on the robbers. What did he do? He laid on the path on the path that the robbers would pass two types of dust: righteous dust and crazy dust. And what happened? The robbers that would walk on this dust would become crazy tzaddikim. And when I learned this, I read these stories 20 years ago. I didn't understand exactly how crazy tzaddikim would kill each other, because where does it come into so a person be crazy, have like crazy antics and do crazy things, but he's righteous. How does that bring a person to kill someone else? Wouldn't his righteousness not allow it? But now I see already, because the craziness is itself the mitzvos. This goes hand in hand, I think, with the first Torah and Likutay. And this already, and we see this in the streets going on now in the world. These big mitzvos that they have, these great mitzvos that they have are literally, the crime in certain cities in America is worse than any jungle, any third world country. There's dozens and dozens of shootings and killings, and what does it come from? It comes from their mitzvot. They have all types of noble ideas that they're professing and they're claiming. So you could see this idea is already in the story of Rabbi Nachman delineated, and it's paralleled in the first Torah of Rabbi Nachman, how the righteous noble ideas and mitzvos are literally killing each other. They're killing people from it. Hashem Yerachim, Hashem should have mercy on us, and we should all start learning the first Torah and being the first Torah, which teaches us to look at the seichel, the tachlit, the real purpose of every matter, past the superficial past. Where is it heading? Where is it taking us closer to Hashem? But you have to study that. Just wanted to study this idea that this is we're seeing now at the end of it. I hope this is a sign for the end of times already, because this is where Nachman said that his book, the Likutay, is the Aschalta de Gula is the beginning of redemption, and that's how it works. The beginning of redemption is addressing this craziness that we've never seen, I don't think, in the whole history. So now, Baruch Hashem, we're seeing the symptoms, which means that the Torah is being engaged. And this is the nisayon, this is the challenge of the generation, to overcome this craziness and get past it. And we have the weapons. We have we have the holy Petek, Nanach, Nachman, Sabi Israel. We've got the holy letter from Rabbi Nachman, Nanach, Nachman. We have to be strong and stay sane with the Torah. Rabbi Nachman says that how do we beat this insanity? By learning Torah b'koach, not just listening to sweet, cute ideas from whichever rabbi is giving his lecture or wherever you get the podcast from, but to learn Torah b'koach with strength, which means, and to beat yourself with the Torah, to really give it the full 9 yards, to really hit yourself with the Torah, to beat out the craziness. There's no shortcuts for this, to get out of the craziness. And that's the difference between those that are gonna go crazy from all these new mitzvos that are prevalent in our generation, and the ones that are gonna make it past the craziness and stay sane is those that are going to take the Torah and beat themselves with the Torah, because the whole Torah is the names of Hashem, and they're going to give it to themselves that they want the truth of Hashem through and through, to the Tachlis. Those people, Be'ezus Hashem, they'll make it past the craziness. We should all merit the merit of Nanach, Nachman, Nachman. Everyone should be greatly blessed. Nanach, Nachman, Nachman.